Okay, today we're going to put together an AirScape whole house fan. It's the E4.4e, I believe, so couldn't find a good YouTube video, so I thought I'd make one. Alright, so here we go. Alright, so this is the unit. What we have to do is install the covers on it first. I think they're the surrounds, so that's what we'll do. Well, it's good to use the instructions. So we're doing the 4.4e. So, step one, we've done. We've unboxed it. Now we have to get the sides and get those installed. So that's page 4 of the manual. These are the shroud screws and some tape. We get one of these, which we'll need. Alright, so we need the side panels first. They're labelled A as in apple. And, in theory, I don't think it matters which way they go. Just line up the holes. Slide these bad boys in. That's one. Pretty straightforward. This one's labelled C as in cat. I don't want that one. Another A. Once again, there's little clips here that will hold it in place, but you put them in with the screws, so we'll do that momentarily. So I've got the two A's in. That was step 2 on page 4. That was easy. There's to put 5 screws in each of them. Well, it has 5 holes, so that makes sense. So let's put the screws in first, which once again come in this packet. And are conveniently labelled damper screws, or damper box screws. Okay, that's that side done. 5 more on this side. Line up the holes. Good enough. I don't know if you put on super tight, just get them through just snug. If you're not familiar with these things, these AirScape fans, they're fantastic. They are not a replacement for air conditioning, but they, in climates where you have cooler nights, if you're trying to get air inside your house and don't want to run the air conditioning 24/7, these things are fantastic. They essentially work by taking air from the outside, sucking it into the house, so you need to have a window or door open, and they blow it into the attic space, and you really do need sufficient attic ventilation for them to work. But once you do that, it's not particularly expensive to do, then you can pretty much cool your house down to the ambient temperature outside. Or you can use it in winter, and if it's warmer outside than it is inside, suck the outside air in and warm your house up. They are really cheap to run. I'm over at the in-laws at the moment installing one, but we've got one at our place and they are fantastic. We don't even have air conditioning, and you get a great cool breeze at night time. It's just wonderful. Alright. And I have no stake in this company, it just works well. Let's see, B and C. So B goes opposite the control box. Got B. So in she goes. No surprises for how this one's connected. So it says the label for B must face the interior of the unit. And unfortunately it does. And these, you want the flanges to go inside as well. So basically just fit panel B inside of the panels A and attach. Screw holes mount up. So you put screws in them. That worked well. So we've attached the sides. Now use plastic rivets. Up the vertical deal here. Once again, they come in the pack. Good news for us. Ironically enough, labelled plastic rivets. Put these bad boys in. So these essentially stick the this end in, and then push the pin in, is my understanding anyway. So like that. Usually use a hammer, but that's all I do. Okay, got that one in. Done. One word of caution, they are a little fragile, so make sure you knock them in dead straight. Okay. That's the end of page 5. Page 6. Panel C is in cat. Make sure the label faces inwards. Label inwards. Which way? Once again on the inside of panels A. Putting little tabs now. Okay, so first put the plastic tabs in. Looks like you've got to remove this metal box. I'll put the tabs in first. It'd be really good if they gave you extra rivets, just in case you break one. Is a possibility, but let's hope I don't. Don't hit it too hard, just give it little taps. Keep it as straight as you can. They generally go in. If you hit it too hard, you'll snap the plastic rivet, and that won't be good. Almost snapped that one. So right now we're up to putting in panel C. I've attached the rivets, but I have not yet put the screws in. The instructions tell me to do that, so that's what I'm going to do right now, if I can figure it out. Alright, so with this panel, which is panel C, it goes directly in front of the control box. Once again, you've got the rivets, 4 of them. And the instructions say something about removing the electrical cover box. Oh, the other thing, make sure the labels, all A, B, C, all face inwards. Doesn't really matter which way up or down they go, but it does matter which way, whether they're inwards. Alright, so we put the plastic rivets on. Okay, we're going to remove the electrical box cover and attach the front panel to the base using 2 of the provided screws. So I'm going to take this bad boy off. Alrighty, there are 2 holes. See if you can see them. It's a bit tough, isn't it? Alrighty, you can see one right there, right just above my finger. I think you should be able to see it. Yep, one there, one on the other side. You can see it right there, just here. I'm just going to put 2 screws in there and then put the cover back on. That's fairly straightforward. Alright, so put this back on. Okay, then we're going to use some of this foil tape. And seal up the seams, is what the instructions tell me. Anything you want to be careful of is you don't want it to interfere with the operation of the door itself. So just be a little bit careful of that. There are some hinges on the obviously on the opposite side of that. Just don't tape over them. Pretty straightforward. Stuff snaps pretty good. Page 7. Alright. Set top panel D onto the sides of the unit, making sure the flanges sit outside the panels. I present D. Doesn't look like it's going. Probably should wear gloves when you've got this, but see these little tabs here? I don't know if you can see them. They snap over the ridges here, and that helps you line up the holes. These vertical walls have the same tabs, which is what I was referring to earlier. So, well, they don't, sorry, the base unit does, and these snap into them. So this is just going to go on top. I'm sure it only goes one way. I'm guessing it's that way. Alright, AirScape. Might be wondering what this is. You'll basically be plugging in some Ethernet cable into these if you want to have a wall switch. Just the Ethernet cable goes into here and goes straight into the control box. There's also a web interface. We use that. If you run that to your router, you can have you can use the web to essentially operate the unit. And there's a remote control that comes with it that is pretty kick-ass. Well, kick-ass. It works good. So we've got them into the locking tabs, and then we're going to attach them using 20 of the provided screws. Ooh. Damper box screws. Guessing they're it. Okay, so now we're going to put the shroud on, and that should be pretty much most of the setup on this piece done. We use the collar screws for these, so slightly different ones. Alright, now we're going to use some more of that tape around the seams and the base of this collar. Okay, box is complete, I believe. Next, it's going to go framing the opening. It's going to be a lot of fun. Right. Okay, so now we have to cut out the cavity for the fan itself. So I've gone upstairs into the attic and cut from the top down using a little oscillating saw, and now I'm just going to finish it off from the bottom. Should be relatively easy to do, and the dimensions are are 22.5 by 26.5. So that's what it is at the moment. I probably need to do a little bit of trimming, but that's fairly straightforward. So the way I'm going to do this is I will use a little hacksaw blade for the remainder of it, and that usually keeps most of the drywall intact and doesn't let it or give it the opportunity to fracture and make a bloody mess. So anyway, here goes. This little hacksaw blade I'm using, or blade in handle, I guess, works pretty good. So there you have it, there's the cavity for the fan. So now I have to go and frame it up upstairs. Alrighty, so here we are up in the attic. The unit's actually installed. It's a bit dark up here, but we'll figure it out. Alright, you can see right there where the light is. That's where I put one of the 2x6s that I cut. There's another one on the other side. I'd recommend you, when you cut those 2x6s, obviously measure between the joists and just take the word of the instructions. And the other tip is, make sure when you place the 2x6s that this little flange here, this where that screw is, where that light is now, move it out of the way. So you want to make sure that these little screws can go into that 2x6, and the same on the other side.